What up peoples of the internet, my name is Kevin and welcome back to another video. Okay guys, so for today's video I'm doing one of my favorite videos ever to film every single year, and that is my best books of 2020. So I do this video every single year where I tell you guys my favorite books that I read each year, and I usually do like a top 10 list or top 5 or something. So for this year I actually have a top 10 of books that were my favorite books of 2020, and I'm so excited to share them all with you. You're probably aware of so many of them, which ones were my favorites, because for the majority of these I'm pretty sure I've done reading vlogs for every single book in here. So of course I will leave the vlogs linked down below in the description in case you want to watch the vlog that corresponds with that book. But I'm just so happy to be filming this video. I can't believe 2020 is over, but at the same time I'm very glad it's over. Bring on 2021, let's hope it's so much better. And yeah, without further ado, let's just get straight into the books and start with number 10 and work our way down to number 1, which I'm pretty sure a lot of people know what my number 1 book is, but we'll get there at the end. Also, just an FYI, all 10 of these books I would recommend. So if you're looking for any recommendations for books to read, I would recommend all of these books if they sound like something that you would be interested in. So coming in at the 10th position, we have got Volume 1 in Tokyo Ghoul. Now this is a manga series that I just started. I've only read Volume 1 so far. I do own the second one, just haven't read her yet, and I instantly fell in love with this. I loved it so much. If you don't know what it's about, it basically follows this main character who lives in a world where there are ghouls that live amongst humans, and ghouls are basically creatures that look like humans that eat other humans. And yeah, I don't know what else to say, but that's what it's about. It's dark, it's graphic at times. I just really enjoyed it, and I think I was just really in the mood to read this because I read it close enough to Halloween, and obviously I was in the mood for that kind of thing, and I just loved it. I haven't read very many mangas. I've only read this, and I've also read the first 2 volumes in Death Note, but this is definitely my favorite that I've read so far, and I cannot wait to find out more about this world, and I just loved it so much. I would also highly recommend this if you're someone who hasn't really read a lot of manga and you really want to start reading some. I would highly recommend that you start with this one because I think it's a very easy way to get into it because I had no problems reading it. Coming in at 9th place, we have got Check Please Book 1, and this is a graphic novel. There's only 2 books in the series. Book 2 would also be included in this, like Book 1 and Book 2, they're both basically in 9th place. But this is such a cute and adorable graphic novel series. The main character you will instantly fall in love with because the main character is a vlogger. Like, he makes YouTube videos and he loves to play hockey. He also just loves to bake pies, and he's just such a cute and innocent little being, and you just need to protect him at all costs. And basically it just follows him going to college. He joins this fraternity and he joins the ice hockey team, and it's just him and all of his teammates and all of their shenanigans. There's also a male-male romance. It's so adorable. I would just highly recommend this if you're looking for a cute graphic novel series, especially if you loved Heartstopper by Alice Oseman, my favorite graphic novel of all time. You will also love this because it has the same vibes in terms of cuteness. I really wish there was more than 2 books because I need more content, because I just love Biddy. That's the main character's name, is Biddy. I just love him so much and I need more content. Coming in at number 8, we have got I'll Be the One by Leigh, and I think actually this is the only one I do not have a reading vlog for because I read this for my Patreon book club. So I have a reading vlog for it, but it's on my Patreon. For some reason, when I picked up this book, I had a feeling I would like it because it centers around K-pop, and obviously I love K-pop. But for some reason, I was just like, I don't know if this is going to be good. It's going to be probably cheesy and cringy. I did not have that issue because I literally loved this so much. I loved the main character Sky and what she stands for and what she represents. She was such an amazing character and such a great role model, and I just loved the representation through her. So basically, if you don't know what this book is about, it follows this main character named Sky who takes part in this reality competition to become the next K-pop idol. And basically the whole point of the story is that Sky is trying to break these rules that were set by society, her mother, the K-pop industry, the music industry, all of these rules that have been set for fat girls, and she's just there to like break all those rules and basically call them out for what they are, which is trash. I really related to parts in Sky's characters. I loved so many of the quotes in here about body positivity and discussions on fat shaming. I really enjoyed this book and I would really recommend it, especially if you are a K-pop fan. If you like K-pop, you should read this because it's just full of K-pop literally full of it, and I just loved it. 5 out of 5 stars. Loved this book so much. Coming in at the number 7 spot is a book that I actually didn't expect to be so low on this list, because I thought it would be a bit higher, because when I read it I was like, oh, this is gonna be one of my favorite books of the year. But when I looked at all the books I read, I was like, actually you're only number 7, but I do love this book and I would really want you guys to read it. And that is Felix Ever After by Cassandra Calendar. I love this book so much. If you don't know, this is a book that is said that it's for fans of Simon vs. the Homo Sapiens Agenda. I'm a fan of Simon vs. the Homo Sapiens Agenda, aka perfect book for me. Basically, this book follows this main character named Felix, who has never been in love before, and he is painfully aware of that, and he's very upset about it. One thing, again, I could just relate to is how single and sad he was. I was like, me, that's me. And then Felix starts getting bullied in school and blackmailed by someone who is posting his dead name all over the school and posting old photos of him all over the school. And that's basically what it follows, but it just deals with so much more stuff than that, because obviously he's trying to figure out who is doing all of this to him, but at the same time he's going through this process of discovering himself that is just so amazing to read. And that was probably one of my favorite aspects of this whole book, is the journey that Felix goes on from the start of the book to by the end of it. And obviously it did give me vibes to Simon vs. the Homo Sapiens Agenda, so of course I loved it for that as well. But I also just think this is such a great book, and the romance in here is so cute and adorable. I really shipped it. I love the two characters together. I read it so fast. I think I read it in a 24-hour readathon, so I literally read it in a day. I would just highly recommend it if you guys haven't picked it up yet. Okay, so coming in at number 6, we have got Get a Life, Chloe Brown by Talia Hibbert. Now, this is a adult romance book that I picked up because I've heard so many great things about it, and I was really afraid that I wouldn't like it, because I was like, oh my god, so many people love this. I really hope I do as well. And I did. I loved it so much. Like, the two characters together, I loved them so much, and like, there were so many parts where like it just has the cliche rom-coms, and I was just yearning for these two people to be together. And I'm obviously not going to say anything, but I just loved it so much. It basically follows this main character named Chloe Brown that has a near-death experience, and when that happens she suddenly realizes, you know what? I need to get myself a life. So she makes up this list of things that she wants to do, and then she basically starts to like do the things on the list. And throughout all of this, she meets a guy who is the superintendent in her building, and things go from there. There's romance, there's steam, there's great characters, it's funny, there's a representation of a chronic illness because the main character has fibromyalgia. And it's just one of those books as well, if you're really into adult romance books or you want to start getting into them, I would recommend this. It's definitely one that I think is an easy way to like break into the romance genre, because it's definitely a genre I've been breaking into recently because I'm really loving it. And yeah, love this book so much. 5 out of 5 stars. I just love them so much. Like, literally, I'm so single. So now we are moving into my top 5 of 2020. I loved all of these books so much, and if you haven't read them, please read them. They're so freaking good. Anyways, let's start with number 5, which is Cemetery Boys by Aiden Thomas. This book, once again, I loved it. I'm saying that for every single book because, spoiler alert, I loved every book in here. But this is a book that I just instantly fell in love with as well, because the atmosphere in this book really drew me in. And it was also another book I read during Halloween or around Halloween time, and I just really loved it. I loved the main characters. I really found myself attaching to them really easily, and I was very upset to say goodbye to them because I just didn't want to say goodbye to them. Basically, if you don't know what this book is about, it's kind of complicated for me to try to explain correctly, so I'm just going to read you the synopsis in case you don't know what it's about. When his traditional Latinx family has problems accepting his gender, Yadriel becomes determined to prove himself a real brujo. With the help of his cousin and best friend Maritza, he performs the Quinces ritual himself, and then sets out to find the ghost of his murdered cousin Miguel and set it free. However, the ghost he summons is actually Julian Diaz, the school's resident bad boy, and Julian is not about to go quietly into death. He's determined to find out what happened and tie up some loose ends before he leaves. Left with no choice, Yadriel agrees to help Julian so that they can both get what they want. But the longer Yadriel spends with Julian, the less he wants to let him leave. It just is such a great book, and the relationship relationship in here is a slow burner, and I love a good slow burn romance, literally one of my favorites. And also I just love the family aspect of this book because I'm really close to my cousins, like they're my best friends, and in this book Yadriel's best friend is his cousin, and it's something that I just really related to, and just the whole family aspect of this book is just something, once again, I just really connected to and related to. I really loved it, and I would definitely recommend it, and I cannot wait to read more books by Aiden Thomas. Coming in at number 4, we have got Chain of Gold by Cassandra Clare. Now, this of course had to make my top 5 list because this is now my favorite Cassandra Clare book ever. I love the characters in this series so freaking much, because also The Infernal Devices by Cassandra Clare is my other favorite series by her, and if you don't know, this book follows the children of the main characters in The Infernal Devices. So because I already love The Infernal Devices, I was like, oh, I'm probably gonna love Chain of Gold, but I did not expect to love it more than The Infernal Devices. This book just had everything that I love about Cassandra Clare's books. There was obviously demons, there was friendship, there was a character that you just hate so much and you get so annoyed with, and there's just so much in here that I just loved. And once again, this is another book that I read very quickly. I believe I read this in a day. It's not a thin book, and I read this in a day because I was so consumed by it. I was so gripped by all of the characters, especially Anna Lightwood. Just perfection. Perfection in a character. If you haven't picked this book up yet and you've read Cassandra Clare's other books, I would just highly recommend that you do. Okay, we're moving into my top 3 for 2020. This makes me so excited, and I want you to pause the video right now, go to the comments, and comment what you think my top 3 books are in that order. Like, what do you think is my number 3? What do you think is my number 2? And what do you think is my number 1? I want to see how many of you guys can get it correct. Coming in at number 3, we have got a book that I literally only finished days ago, and that is Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo. If you guys have seen my reading vlog that I literally only just uploaded, it was the last video I uploaded, I loved Six of Crows so much. And the funny thing is, like I said in that vlog, is that I said for years I was not going to read Six of Crows because I read Shadow and Bone a few years back, like back in like 2016 or something, and I wasn't a huge fan of it. I thought, no, I didn't really like this. And so because I knew Six of Crows is in the same world as Shadow and Bone, I was like, if I didn't like Shadow and Bone, I'm not gonna like Six of Crows. And so I was like, I'm not gonna read it. But then everyone told me Six of Crows is so much better than Shadow and Bone. And so eventually, after years of me being stubborn, I finally decided to read it. And I'm so happy that I did because I love this book so much. The characters, once again, in here is definitely the best part about this book because I literally cannot tell you who my favorite character is. I love them all so much. And also, if you don't know what this book is about, basically it follows like this group of people that are like a gang. They're called the Dregs, and they go on a heist mission to break someone out of a prison for money, basically, which is literally the definition of a heist, but you get the idea. And literally the heist part in this book, it felt like something that I would see in a movie. Like, I felt like I was reading like the script of a movie scene. It was so good. I was able to picture it perfectly in my head, and it was just so well done. And the writing style in this book compared to Shadow and Bone, it's so weird to me how they're both written by the same author because they have such a different feel to it, and it's just really weird to try and explain. But if you felt like I did about Shadow and Bone and you didn't really like it, trust me, Six of Crows is much better, but it is a very character-driven book, so if that's something you're not a big fan of, then maybe you won't like this book. But also, I'm not a huge fan of character-driven books. Like, I do like a bit of action in there as well. And I love this book. I give it 5 out of 5 stars because the characters just mean everything to me. I love them so much. And I just cannot wait to read the sequel, Crooked Kingdom, even though everyone tells me I'm gonna cry. So don't love that for me. I'm not ready to sob. Okay, we're on to the top 2. Coming in at number 2. Honestly, when I read this book at the start of the year, I genuinely didn't think another book would beat it. Like, I was like, no, there's no way, like, at all, I'm gonna read anything else that's gonna beat this book because I loved it so much when I read it. I was like, nope, absolutely nothing else is gonna beat it. But a book has beaten it, and coming in at number 2, we have got House of Earth and Blood by Sarah J. Maas, or Crescent City. This is probably one of my favorite Sarah J. Maas books. I'm a very big Sarah J. Maas fan. I know she has a lot of problems and there's a lot of valid criticisms around Sarah J. Maas's books, but I just can't help that I love her books so much. They're always one of my favorite books every time I read them. And definitely with this one, it's such a big step up in terms of writing and world building, in my opinion, compared to her ACOTAR series and her Throne of Glass series. This is a huge step up, especially as well because this is now officially an adult fantasy book, because with ACOTAR it was more like new adult, but it was still kind of classified as YA at times, but it definitely felt like new adult. And then Throne of Glass was kind of the same vibe. It started off as YA, but then it definitely feels like new adult by the end of it. But this one was 100% an adult fantasy, and the writing definitely felt like that. The world felt like that, and I just loved it so much. Once again, the characters, I loved them so much. This book made me cry, and even when people reference one particular line from the book, every time, like I always see fan art of it, I start tearing up. Like I always just remember it and I'm like, nope, I'm gonna cry again. I just love this so much. The main character is such a badass. I love the romance. I just loved everything in here. It's also a very slow burn romance, so bear that in mind if you ever read it, because you will start to feel the tension and you're just like, oh my god, kiss or do something, like admit your feelings, because it's killing me. I don't really know what to say what this book is about without like really spoiling it, so once again I'm just going to read the back of it to you. So it says, Bryce Quinlan used to light up Crescent City, partying all night in the clubs where the strict classes of angel, shifter, human and fae merge into a sea of beautiful bodies. And then a demon murdered her closest friends. 2 years later, when the supposed killer is behind bars but the crimes start up again, the city's leaders command Bryce to help investigate. They assign her an enslaved fallen angel, Hunt Athalar, to make sure she does. But as Bryce fights to uncover the truth and resist her attraction to the brooding angel who shadows her every step, she finds herself following a trail that leads deep into her own dark past. It's just such a great book, and the ending, like the epilogue of this book, I need book 2, and we have no information, no idea when we could possibly ever get that book, but I need it. And if you are a Sarah J. Maas fan and you haven't read this yet, I would highly recommend that you get to it as soon as possible. The first 100 or so pages of this book can be very slow and hard to get through because it can be very confusing as well, but once you push through it, everything clicks, and the way everything clicks, it's just like, wow. Genius, amazing, love this. And now we come to my favorite book of 2020. I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys already know what this is, but I'm going to repeat myself because I've talked about it so many times throughout this year, and I'm bringing up once again in case you haven't read it, because you need to go read it, and that is The Black Flamingo by Dean Atta. I love this book so much so that I have read this twice already this year. Like, I read it and I was like, wow, this is probably gonna be my favorite book of the year, and then I reread it just to confirm those thoughts, and I did get the confirmation that I needed, because I was like, yep, 100% my favorite book of the year. I have annotated it with all of my favorite parts. I just want everyone to read this book because it's so beautiful, and it just deals with so many different topics such as gender identity, race, homophobia, transphobia, the drag scene. There's just so much in here, and I think everything is done so beautifully and so perfectly. It basically follows this main character, Michael. Follow him from when he was 5 until he goes to college, and you watch him grow up, find out who he is, and just talk about everything that leads up to the person that he is today and where he discovers the world of drag. And this book, I just felt so represented in here, because as a gay man myself, I related to so many things in here. And one particular part that stands out to me the most is when the main character talks about his Barbie doll and how he always wanted a Barbie doll for so long for Christmas, or as a gift. That's all he ever wanted, was a Barbie doll. And at first he didn't get one because it just is not a boy's toy. And then also it explores the fact, like, why do we put a gender to toys? Like, why can't you just let a boy play with whatever he wants to play? Why can't you let a little girl play with whatever she wants to play with? And those discussions and conversations in this book is something that I really related to, because growing up I used to play with Bratz dolls with my cousins, and obviously I was told by other people, never people in my family because I'm very lucky to have such an amazing family, but definitely outsiders would say stuff to me and like say, why are you playing with Bratz? They're for girls, like what are you doing? You're clearly gay, like why are you playing with a Bratz doll? And just like all of this stereotypical stuff that's associated to toys, which is literally for kids. It's a piece of plastic. Why are we associating a gender to a piece of plastic? And it's just something that I could really relate to, and it just connected to me. And that's just one of the many moments throughout this book where I felt so seen, I felt represented, I felt myself in the main character. I really don't know what else to say, but I really want you to read it. If you haven't read it, it's so good. It's just everything. Favorite book of the year. Okay, so there you have it. They are my top 10 books of 2020. Let me know down below in the comments what your favorite book of 2020 was. I would love to know. Also, let me know if we share any like mutuals. Like, is there any books on this list that are also some of your favorites that you read this year? But yeah, that's gonna be it for this video. I really hope you guys have a wonderful holiday season, and I will see you all very, very soon for another video. So goodbye, guys.